my name is Tori. This is Novel Life. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the start of a brand new reading vlog. I'm going to be reading some Kindle Unlimited romances. I have for the past couple of months focused on getting down my physical TBR, and while I think I'm doing pretty good at that, while not buying books and adding to the physical TBR, I'm just in the mood to read some of the Kindle Unlimited romances that I have downloaded. So it's going to be a mix of fantasy romances, dark gothic romances, contemporary romances, anything like that. It's basically like me mood reading in Kindle Unlimited, if that makes sense. So I have my Kindle. I'm very excited. I actually am here to tell you the first book that I'm going to read because I'm already about 11% in. That's how far I got last night, which I am actually very excited about because my physical reading time has not been the most plentiful, if that makes sense. So I've had trouble like physically reading and setting time aside to actually physically read, but when I physically read, it's like my own little like self-care, even if it's like an hour or two. So yes, I am going to be reading some Kindle Unlimited romances, and the first one that we are going to talk about, let's just dive right in. We're diving right in. We're wasting no time because you are here to hear me talk about books. So the first one is A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly by Sophia St. Germain. So this has been downloaded for quite a bit of time. I think I've put it on like a couple of like KU TBRs or fantasy romance TBRs, and I finally just decided to dive into it because the premise sounded really good and I was like, this is what I seem to be in the mood for. It's interesting because the blurb and the beginning of the book don't like line up. You think like, oh, we're gonna see her being like taking a blood oath to the king and then seeing how she's been the last 5 years. No, we're literally in the present, and you see that she and this like found family group of friends that she has curated in this town, and like how she's, you know, what she's doing, how her life has been for the past 5 years, even though she has a blood oath to the king. You're seeing that part of it, and I don't mind. But she is half fae, and when she's in one of the taverns, the humans that she interacts with, she uses her magic, which is emotion manipulation, to basically say, I don't know, it says it's emotion manipulation, but I don't think it's just that. But basically she can make them do whatever they want. She has to look into their eyes and they have to look into her eyes. So she does that, and she's like, you're gonna take the drinks that you just bought and you're gonna give them to my friends and you're going to enjoy it. He comes out of it and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go take them to your friends. And it's just funny. But I guess the king's right-hand man literally sees her doing that and is like, oh, how are you? Like, where have you been for that past 2 days? So basically like every day or every other day she has to like check in with one of the king's men to make sure that she's not like getting into trouble. Like, she's alluding to something that happened in her past to why she had to swear a blood oath, but we don't know what that is yet. So I love a good mystery. I love like when things come out, but you see that she's like strong, she's independent, she loves her life, she loves the life that she's created with this group of friends here. She's running businesses, like her own business of like, you know, shipping things to and from and all this stuff like that. Like, it's very interesting and I'm like intrigued. It's giving like cozy fantasy vibes and not like a cozy fantasy vibes way. It's like small town, taverns, like found family, just like daily things that she's doing, and I don't mind it. Now I am ready to finally meet the hero, or I think I know who the hero is going to be. I don't want to say too much because I don't know technically what would be considered a spoiler just yet. Obviously we do know the hero's name from the blurb, but I don't want to spoil like maybe like how they meet or anything like that. So it's very interesting. But the part that I just stopped at last night, the king has come to call in the blood oath basically, and is like, I need you to do this particular thing, and I don't want to say what it is because I don't know if it's going to be a spoiler or not, but basically I need you to do this one specific thing, and if you do this for me, I will release you from your blood oath. Like, I take oath on that. So she's very excited. She's like, I need to do this, and basically it'll be like getting her life back because she's been controlled by the king with this tattoo. She can't speak about the king, she can't speak about the blood oath that she took, that she has to serve him in any way and all that stuff. So she's like basically in her head, if I complete this task for the king, I'm going to have freedom. Love that. So, and I think that's where it's gonna go. So I feel like it's gonna like dive right into all of like the more action pack of it. The more action-packed part of the story, at least I hope so. I do know it is the first in a series. 2 books are out, and I think the last book comes out in August sometime, so hopefully this is a good start to a series. So I do have the book Nightshade by Autumn Woods. It's about 10 hours long. So I've seen a lot of people talk about this, and I think it traditionally got picked up, and that's why a lot of people are talking about it, but it is a dark academia, TikTok sensation packed with romantic suspense, murder, and addictive enemies to lovers tension, and Allie Hazelwood blurbed it. So it says, at elite Sorrow Song University, hidden in the misty Scottish Highlands, Stop right now. Ophelia is the ultimate outsider, attending on a scholarship. She's there on a mission. She's investigating her parents' suspicious death, and she's trying to destroy the powerful man that she holds responsible for that. Oh my god, and everything changes when she meets Alex, a billionaire heir, campus royalty, and son of her prime suspect. Oh my god. As tension turns to yearning, Alex soon breaks down Ophelia's walls and her desire for revenge begins to unravel. Oh my gosh, I'm very excited. So the tropes are enemies to lovers, dark academia, murder mystery, creepy Scottish castle, romantic suspense, rugby player, and I guess she's a swimmer. He falls first, grumpy, slow burn, hate to love. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm so excited for this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I am intrigued. I don't know when I'm going to start the audiobook for that. So it's in Kindle Unlimited, but my Hoopla has the audio, which I'm very excited for. So that is the two that I have up first that I want to read. I don't know how long it's going to take me to read these. We shall see, but I hope you come along for this vlog of me just reading some Kindle Unlimited romances, because that's what I want to do. Guys, I fear that I have read one of the most addicting fantasy romances that I've read in a really long time. So earlier today, I just did my makeup. That's why I'm sitting in my bedroom. I just did my makeup. I'm about to film, but I wanted to update you because I don't think I've updated you since I started this vlog, actually. I have finished this book, A Tongue So, oh my god, Tongue So Sweet and Deadly, okay? So I just finished this book, and when I tell you I read most of it last night while laying in bed, and today before filming after breakfast. It's Saturday if I didn't say that, but I just literally sat down on my couch after breakfast and I just flew through the rest of this book. I haven't read a fantasy romance where I feel very compelled to pick up the second book. So I have downloaded the second book. It's called A Promise So Bold and Broken. I think book 3 comes out towards the end of August 30th. So because I'm really invested in these characters right now, I don't want to not pick up book 2 and just like say I'll get to it later, because I'm never gonna get to it later. So I think I told you what the whole premise was. Now she has it's not emotion manipulation magic. I figured out it's more like mind control. She's like one of the mental fae. So they have like elemental fae that have like rain, water, earth, fire, that kind of stuff, air. And then you have the mental fae that can have like, that have mental magic, that can like mental manipulation type thing. So that's what she can do. She can look into your eyes. She will compel you to do certain things that she wants to do, like forget that you met me, or for example, looking into the guy at the beginning of the book, his eyes, I'm saying, you're gonna take these drinks over to my other fae friends because I want you to, because he was being rude to her. I always say this with trials, okay? Trials have to be done in a very like unique way for me to really like it, okay? Like I don't want the normal trials that we've always gotten. Like I need something different. This had that. So when I realized about 35-40% of the book what was happening with the trials, I was like, I am sold. I am sold. I cannot wait. The hero of this book, I have no idea who the hero of this trilogy is. I think it's a trilogy. It could be a like longer book, but 3 are coming out. Well, book 3 is coming out in August, so I know for sure it's at least 3 books, but I don't know who the hero is. She has a love interest, but she also has another person that's kind of like a bodyguard during these trials, where I'm like, I didn't like him at first. I was like, I hate him. Like I truly did not like him, and I was like, if this guy is gonna be the hero at the end of this book, I am done with this series. Like I'm not gonna read anymore. 1, I have changed my mind. 2, I like both of the guys. So I literally really love this book. Like I think I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars for the first book in a series. At the beginning, the first like 30-40% was a little, I say clunky, and clunky in the way that like I didn't know where the story was gonna go. Like I didn't know where we were going, what's happening, like why is all this happening. Like I felt very confused. But once we jumped into like the trials and like really what happened was going on, like the true like meaning behind everything, like the reasons why the book was created, right? I was like, okay, so basically our female character, she has a blood oath to the king. I think I may have already told you that, but she has a tattoo on her arm or whatever. And basically the king tells her, you're gonna enter into the regent elections for this island, and you're gonna basically be a spy. I want you to spy on the current regent. I don't care if you win, but I want you to be in these elections and all this stuff like that, because I want you to get as much information about him and what he's doing for the last 5 years as much as you can. So that's basically why she's there. And one of the king's right-hand men is called, I think it's called the Death Whisperer. The Death Whisperer. His name is Merrick. I think it's Merrick. Maverick? No, it's not Maverick. Merrick? I think it's Merrick. He doesn't look her in the eye. Like, he doesn't look her in the eye. And it's because he knows if he looks her in the eye that she can use her magic on him. Like, compel him to go away, all this stuff like that. So you see that him being the right-hand man, he still has to like make sure that she complies with what the king wants to do, and she's trying to find a way of like around it. Anyway, she gets close to the current regent. His name is Locke, so he is like the one that she has like a love interest in this book with, and it's secrets. It's like on both sides, on every side there's this like, I feel like this like impending war, but I don't know what side is which. Like, I don't know. They talk about previous wars between like Fae and humans and stuff like that, and how devastating it was on both sides, and they don't want that to happen again. Like, no one does. But I'm like, what is happening? There's twists and turns in this book. There was a moment I was sitting on the couch and like I was just chilling, and I was like, what? And my husband was like, are you okay? I'm like, this plot twist in this book just happened, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I did not see that coming at all. Like, there were so many twists and turns. I'm very intrigued, to say the least. I'm pretty sure book 2 picks up right where book 1 ends, and I'm very excited about that because certain things happen and I'm like, come on. I don't know how she's gonna play this out. Like, I wouldn't say a love triangle, because one, the relationship between, like, I say her bodyguard Merrick is not like a relationship. It's just like companionships. I think it's like between friends. Does that make sense? Like, they're there for each other because they're both under like the king's rule. Like, he has to follow what the king says. He's like the king's right-hand man and all this stuff like that. So you find out where his loyalties lie in this book, and it's very interesting because I still don't know. Like, okay, I say you find out where his loyalties lie. You think you know where they are. And even going into book 2, I still don't. I have an inkling that I hope, but I still don't know like where his loyalties lie, like what's going on. I don't know the regent, like what's happening with that. Like, there's just so much. So I'm also someone with fantasy. I love political intrigue, and with this, I love the political intrigue of like having a regent and why they're elected, and like what are all these other elected officials doing, and what's the king doing, and like what's happening with this kingdom over here, not kingdom but like island over here. Like, how are they all playing into it? And I think in book 2 we're going to expand that and find out more about the other islands, because one of them is mentioned a lot. So I'm very excited for that. But needless to say, I'm going to put the Autumn Woods book on the back burner, which I'm not like horribly mad about. I still want to read that. But I am definitely going to continue reading the second book, A Promise So... These titles, man, I can't remember. What did it say? A Promise So Bold and Broken. That's what it's called. Reminds me of the Stasia Stark series, where it's like A Curse So Dark and Lonely, A Curse So Dead and Lonely. All of those have those type of books, but I am really liking this. I see why so many people have picked it up and talked about it. So I'm gonna go film. I'm gonna hurry up and cook dinner so then I can sit my butt down and read that book, because I'm very, very excited to continue. So I'm definitely gonna pick up the second book and come along with on the journey. Obviously, I can't talk about too much with the plot stuff, but I can tell you about my feelings. So I am hoping that this is, nope, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it, because the last time I said I think something's gonna be like a really good book, I'm not jinxing myself. Anyway, I'm going to go film. Let me put on some perfume. When I do my hair and makeup, I put on perfume because it makes me feel pretty. It makes me feel pretty. I'm like, oh, I'm going out, doing something. No, I'm going upstairs to my library to film. That's what I'm doing. I will talk to you guys when I have an update on this second book. Hello! I have an update on book 2, which is A Promise So Bold and Broken. I tell you, I love this series. I do not like these titles. I'm hella confused with a lot of these titles, okay? Like, seriously, I'm really confused. Anyway, I am 63% into this book, okay? I don't know what it is about this author's writing, but I wanted to be like, oh, I'm gonna get through like 30% of this book, and then I'm gonna tell you what it's like, how I feel about the second book. I could not stop reading this book, and I am literally dying to go back and lay down and finish this book. Like, that's all I want to do, is finish this fantasy romance. Like, I don't know what's up with these characters and why I love them so much. I don't like comparing like novels to one another. I don't like comparing stories. I think that like every story can be unique in any way. But what I think I love about this story is that a love interest was kind of introduced in book 1, which is Locke. You see that right from the beginning. And in this book, it's interesting because of what happens at the end of book 1, which I don't want to say, she gets close to a different character. So I'm not going to talk about plot. I'm really just going to talk about like my feelings about the story, the book, all that stuff. This turned into something I'm trying to be very vague. This turned into a book where I was not expecting this, and I really freaking love it. Like, I really like what this author did. There's not been a time in this book in particular where I felt like it was slow, where I felt like, oh, like it's slowed down, it'd be okay, it's okay for me to like put the book down, you know what I mean? We are introduced to a whole slew of characters in this book, specifically like a handful, I would say. And I'm so happy that we get to know them, and I'm so happy that we're knowing more about them. And I just love it. I love these type of fantasy romances where it's not only the heroine that we're following and her story, or the hero and his story, you know what I mean? Like, it's these cast of characters where we really, like, it's a found family aspect, and that they're not necessarily family, but they become family, you know what I mean? I love that. I love it. I am searching for other things. I just read Lady of Shadows by Melissa K. Rourke, which is book 2 in the Lady of Darkness series, which is also in Kindle Unlimited. But I read that with my Patreon. We're reading that whole series, and that also has this like found family cast of characters where I'm like super intrigued, and I really just love reading about them. So yeah, I love this book. I love where it's going. I love everything about it. The way this is going, it's probably going to be also 4.5 stars, unless something either horrible happens and it plummets my rating, or, you know, something crazy happens and what's already happening. I will say that these are really fun books for the summer. They're islands, and, you know, you have to travel by sea, or there's a lot of ports and stuff like that. Like, book 1 had a lot of ports, and then book 2 is a lot about the sea and like being near the sea and water and stuff like that. So it's not like I would say like you have to pick it up before the end of the summer. You can literally read it anytime, but it is kind of like that oddly like beachy-ish, watery book. I don't like saying that. I wanted to see when book 3 is coming out, because I don't know. I follow this author on Instagram now. So I looked at the author's Instagram page, and I can't really tell when book 3 is coming out, but I just looked. Oh, August 20th? Okay. August 20th, 2025 is when book 3 comes out. Okay, I will be sat for that because I cannot wait. It doesn't have a page number, but like I said, I love this. Like, I don't know where this is going. It's a group of characters, and I'm really loving them. So I wish I could say more about book 2, like spoilery, but I like to keep my vlogs as spoiler free as possible. I did get some book mail over the weekend, and I got this ARC copy of Eclipsed Empire. Now, I do have an ALC of this book, and I did not read it before. It was actually released on the 16th. I'm pretty sure this came out on the 16th, but this is book 2 in the Wolves of Crescent Creek series. So I think what I'm gonna do tomorrow, because I'm definitely gonna finish the ebook for A Promise So Bold and Broken, that one. I'm definitely gonna finish that book tonight, because that's all I want to do is read that book tonight. Like, I just want to finish it. And I think this audio is super short. It's like 6.5 hours. All these books are super fun. This is also available on Kindle Unlimited. I'm gonna read this for this reading vlog, because I totally forgot that I actually had this audiobook. So I'm definitely gonna read this one with you guys and see what Ren and her mates get up to, but it's why I choose stuff like that. So I'm gonna add that one in so I can definitely read it. And then I'm gonna read the Autumn Woods book. Those are my last 2 books for this reading vlog, which is gonna be audiobooks. But I am devouring such amazing books lately, and I want to keep it going. So I want to make sure that I'm like sticking to what I really want to read. So as of right now, I want to read Eclipsed Empire, and then I want to read the Autumn Woods book, Night Nightshade? Nightshade. I think that's what it is. My mood could change, but as of right now, that's what I want to read. And that's what we're going to go with. So that's my update. I am going to go finish editing my video, and I will talk to you guys probably tomorrow. Hello. I have a pretty big reading update for you. So, like I said, I updated you. I said that I was 63% into A Promise So Bold and Broken. I finished this book while laying in bed. I have never, ever been so mad at myself for a plot twist with characters in a very long time. Okay, I love the romance in this series. Book number 3 comes out either August 20th or 30th, I forgot. Comes out in August, will be on my TBR, abso-freaking-lutely, 100% without a doubt. Okay, I will be reading that. I don't think it's the final book. I could be totally wrong. It could be the final book. I don't know. I need I need that book. I really am very happy that I binged this fantasy romance series, only because I love reading books. The vibes are vibing, the characters are great, the plot is fun, the fantasy world's easy, like all of that stuff, right? I had such a good time with this. I'm like giving book 2 like 4.5 stars, like 4.5, 5 stars. Like I really, honestly, like I can't even tell you why I would not give it a 5 star, if that makes sense. Like the beginning, you literally jump right in. From the end of book 1, you jump right in, you dive right into all the action, to what's happening. You meet more characters, you go on this adventure. There is like a slightly slow part between like 50 and 60%, but that's like 10% of the book that I'm being like super nitpicky, where it does slow down, which that's where I stopped, and that's why it was easy for me to stop. But like the ending, I wish I could tell you guys. I also feel like no one has read this series. Like I feel like I have not seen anyone talking about this, and I'm like, people are talking about the Wolf King and the Night Prince, and that's fantastic, and I definitely want to read the Night Prince because I haven't finished that series either. But tell me why this series is so much more intriguing, and it has similar things. Seriously, like I love this. I literally loved this book. I had the best time. I love her magic. I love the magic system. I love all of it. I love the world. Like, go read this book. I have had some not so great books this month, but I've also had some really good books, like amazing books recently, and I'm so happy about that. Now, it's the end of my work day. I did fly through the audiobook for Eclipsed Empire. Like, this book is 200 pages. The audiobook is like 6 hours, and I listen at like 1.5, 2 times speed, so that's like maybe 3 hours of listening for me. I love this series too. Like, I feel like comparing this series to the one I just read, I'm like, this book is like a little bit slower because it's the middle book, but that's like totally fair. It's totally fine, whatever. I love Ren. I have a thing with like female characters where I love their growth. I love to see what they're doing. I love to see where they're going. I love to see like a growth throughout the series. I love that so much. It's one of my favorite things to read in like any books, but like specifically fantasy romances. Like, I love if they have anxiety rep or like any type of mental health rep. And from the end of Crescent Kingdom, which is book 1, to this book, there's like a beginning of this part that actually like made me tear up, because something happens in the end of the first book. I'm not gonna say what, but they wind up separated. Like, the characters are separated, and just like that angst at the beginning of this book, like, tell me why I was tearing up listening to the audiobook. Like, I was like, this is actually really freaking sad, and I don't know how I feel about it. This also ends on a cliffhanger though. The 3rd book, which is Rising Rain, comes out, this is the art copy, it's probably not going to say at the end, I forgot. It's September 24th. That's what it is. And I cannot wait for that. I hope that I get an arc of it. I have to make sure that I'm on the list for that. I have a fun time with this series. Like, I don't know if it's because they're shorter, they're easier to digest, there's more of like an urban fantasy feel. Like it's definitely more paranormal than like fantasy romance, if that makes sense. But there's some kind of like, I feel like it borders the line of fantasy and paranormal, if that makes sense. So I count it as fantasy romance, paranormal romance, very similar. I would count this, but more like an urban fantasy setting, and I'm not mad about that. But I love all the guys. If I didn't say this is why choose. Why choose 5 guys. It's the fighter, the mercenary, the Brit, the assassin, and the hacker. The hacker, Locke, is my favorite. I love him. Give me a guy with glasses. Oh my god, I love a guy with glasses. I love him so much. I mean, I love Kingston, who is the fighter too, but I love Locke. Like, I love it. So yeah, I'm in the minority with why choose, is that usually I do have a favorite guy. I do not mind that she is with all of them, but I do have a favorite guy. So I think in book 1, Locke and King were my favorite characters, and I think in this one, what's his name? Oh my gosh, Brix, that's the character. I was getting him and Ender confused. Brix has become one of my favorites in this book because of that, because of certain things that happened. But those are the 2 books that I finished. I mean, one was like less than like 35% of I finished last night, and then this audiobook is super short, so this vlog might be a little bit short, but I'm gonna start the Autumn Woods book because I'm very, very, very excited for this. It's like apparently a little bit romantic suspense. There's like a murder mystery, but it's set in Scotland in academic form. It is not fantasy romance, but that's okay. It's more like gothic dark academia, which I think it's okay. I've read a lot of fantasy romances, so I think it's okay to pause some fantasy romances right now and dive into like this more romantic suspense, like dark academia. But I'm having the best time with books recently, and I'm not mad about that. Like, I've just been reading some amazing books. I did finish, I think I said this for my Patreon, I finished The Lady of Shadows, which is book 2 in the Lady of Darkness series, and I really love that one. Like, I definitely want to continue on with book 3. I have the audiobook downloaded from Audible, even though they're now back on Hoopla. I didn't know she was putting them back on Hoopla, so I went and bought books 2 and 3, but it's fine, it's fine. That is my update for today. I am going to start the Autumn Woods one, which I'm very, very, very excited for, and I will probably update you tomorrow, maybe, depending on how far I get, but I do have the audiobook, and it's about 10.5 hours, so I'll talk to you guys later. Hello, I am here with a little bit of a reading update for you guys. So I have been listening to a very interesting book that now I am literally seeing everywhere. Like, as soon as I read this book, I went on Instagram, I saw it. I went on TikTok and I saw it. Like, literally so many people are talking about this book. Okay, it's Nightshade by Autumn Woods. So I actually have heard of this author before. She had a fantasy romance called Evergreen, because I went on her Instagram and I was scrolling and I was like, oh, I remember a friend recommending this book to me. But I am 33% into Nightshade, and this whole book is based around our female character. She's trying to figure out the mystery surrounding her parents' death. They were both in, I think, a helicopter crash, if I'm not mistaken, and there's something weird about it. So she goes to Sorrow Song University, and she's there on scholarship, and when she walks into the gates, she realizes, or she's trying to get into the gates, Rolls Royce almost runs her over, and I'm assuming that's our hero, Alex? I think it's Alex, yeah. And he is this, you know, billionaire son of who her, like, prime suspect is, basically. And you see that in the university there's 4 different, I don't want to say quadrants, but like schools, and she is put into Nightshade, and she thought she would be in a different one. And you see that this like school is very interesting. It's like a mix of, it's a very like cross between a lot of subgenres. Like, you have some characters who come from mafia families, like Italian, Russian, all this stuff like that. And you see her roommate is one of the Russian twins that does not like her, like literally hates her to pieces. But you see that she's there and she's trying to like figure things out, trying to figure out who Alex is, why she has this like stalker that's like leaving her notes and doing things, and like just random creepy stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm into it. I'm vibing with it. The vibes are vibing for this book. I do like the duet narration. The male narrator is actually the same narrator as Deepen by Ali Hazelwood, and that was the first time I ever listened to an audiobook with him. So I love his, because he can do so many different accents so well. So I am liking that. But this 33% in, not much has happened other than she found her roommate dead, and Alex heard her scream and came in and saw the dead body and basically used her as an alibi. Like, he let her use him as an alibi. So like, they got into bed together to act like, you know, nothing was going on. She did not kill him. I don't think Alex killed her, even her roommate, even though she thinks that he did. Like, there's so much like suspensey like murder mystery happening. It does move quite fast, so I'm at 33%, and this chapter kind of time jumps a week, and she's like, I've just kind of like sat in my room, I didn't want to come out, blah blah blah. And so she goes to the headmaster and is like, I want to leave. And he's like, okay, well your dues are due for the first semester at this time. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm a scholarship student. And he's like, yeah, if you stay. But he's a Scottish hero. The headmaster is a Scottish man, because it's set in Scotland. So there's like a lot of different like cross things that I love, and I'm like, my brain is like, how do I feel about this book? Like there's so many things happening. So I'm gonna go back to listening to it. I started physically reading and listening to it last night, and then I listened to it while I worked. So I'm gonna continue listening because I really like the audiobook, but I have no idea where this is going to go. I do know that the audio book has a note. I'm assuming the ebook does too. But it says that this is a first in either a duet or a series. It's the first book. So their conclusion to their story, like the characters, is not in this book, which I'm totally fine with. So I will update you probably tomorrow when I finish, because I feel like it's going to move quite quickly now, the last 60% of this book, and I'm not mad about it. But I'm very excited to dive right in because the vibes are vibing, and I'm vibing with the vibes. Hello, I am here to update you on my reading and to close out this vlog. I just did my makeup. I tried a new lip combo. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it looks cute. We're going with it because I had to film today. Anyway, I wanted to update you because I finished Nightshade last night. I feel conflicted about my thoughts overall on this book because it is like a first in a duet or a series. I know book 2 is coming at some point. I don't know when, but I know there's a book 2 because it definitely ends on a cliffhanger. I want to first off saying I do love the mental health rep in this book. The mental health rep in this book was so good. And it's specifically with, well, both characters, but it's really with our hero, Alex. He talks to a therapist quite often, and the things that he talks about is like really relevant to someone who is like an oldest child, which if you guys watch my videos, Mochi is running around like a crazy kitty cat. Anyway, if you guys watch my videos, I love any oldest kid. It always gets to me. And with him, he has like 6 younger siblings or something like that. Like he's the oldest and he has like 6 younger siblings or something like that. His mom, you see, is struggling. She's in and out of what I would consider kind of like a mental health place sometimes. Like sometimes she's in a good place, sometimes she's in a bad place. He's trying to take over his father's company. He's trying to like do all these like planning things, and he's carrying a lot of weight on him. So having the therapist there to talk to him, like with I think it's like a psychologist therapist type thing, I really love that. Now not my problem, but the end of this book went in a way where I was like, I feel like it's kind of not in the characters' characteristics to do this, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to say how it ended, but basically they're not together at the end of the book. Something happens, very suspensey. I really like the end, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is where it's going. And then there was kind of like this little plot twist, and I was like, really, you're just going to just like let that be? Like we're not gonna address it. We're not gonna really like critically think about it. I'm trying to be very vague because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But there is a part at the end of the book where he calls his therapist and he's like, I want to die. I'm over it. There's too much going on. And that's all he keeps saying. And his therapist is like, are you driving right now? So like, I love the talk about it, but be aware that there are some like suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts a lot, especially towards the end of the book. And I don't know where the next book is going to go. I don't even know when the next book's going to come out, because technically trad published wise, it just released in May, June. I think at the end of June it did. And I really like the author's writing. So I think I'm going to land at a 4-star. A solid 4-star. I think if the ending was any other thing, not with his mental health, with like how the characters end up, like where they end up at the end of the book, if that didn't happen, I feel like I would have rated it higher. I was like, really? Like that's what we're ending this book with? Like, really? It had like a lot of different subgenres put together. There's like some mafia aspects, some morally gray aspects, like romantic suspense a little bit. There's some murder mystery. There's mental health rep. Like, I like the characteristics. I like the romance. I like all of this. Like, I liked a lot of things about it, and it was very, very solid. Do I think that book 2 could be a 5-star? Possibly. I will rate it whenever it comes out, but that is my thoughts without telling you the ending, because I Like, I would recommend the book. I'm just like, ooh, I just wish that the ending was like slightly different, if that makes sense. Like, just slightly. I'm like, ooh, or like we didn't have to end right there. Like, I could have had a little bit more with where the characters are going, and then we ended it. Like, but I get cliffhangers. So, like, I knew this was a first in a series, first in a duet, whatever, before going in. So I'm not like mad that it ended on a cliffhanger. I'm just mad where the cliffhanger ended, if that makes sense. So that is all I have for this video. I really hope you enjoyed me reading some KU romances. I really loved kind of like mood reading and getting to some books that like I really have been wanting to get to. I mean, all of the books in this reading vlog were either 4, 4.5, or 5 star, which I don't know if that's happened in a very, very long time for me, so I'm not mad about it in the slightest. I will have the books linked in the description box below for you, and if you made it this far and you want to let me know, leave me a little kitty cat emoji. Like, if they have, I think they have a gray kitty cat. Leave me a gray kitty cat, because Mochi she is exploring the house now. We've let her explore the house. And she is running around, she is climbing things, she is playing with things. She doesn't like our trash can. Like, we have a little trash can in our bathroom, and she was hissing at it. She was like, I don't know what this is, I don't like it. So she's exploring things and being explorer girl and falling off things, because she's like, what is this? Can I stand on it? Can I climb on this? All of the things. Anyway, leave me a great kitty cat emoji in the comments down below if you just want to say hello. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.